You've trained hard. The technique is familiar. The kicks flow, roundhouse, side kick, back kick. You've drilled them all. And yet, something feels incomplete. The speed is okay. The form looks decent, but the power isn't translating. The balance breaks under pressure. The rhythm falls apart in sparring. You're not making big mistakes. In fact, that's the problem. You're close. Just close enough that you don't realize what's holding you back. Today, we're exposing 6 overlooked details in your kicking technique. Small flaws that slip in unnoticed but create major limitations. Fixing these won't just polish your form, they'll unlock speed, power, balance, and recovery. Because sometimes you don't need to train harder. You just need to adjust smarter. Let's break it down. The almost chamber. How a lazy setup kills precision. The chamber isn't just the start of your kick, it's the foundation. And when it's weak, everything that follows suffers. Here's what happens. After months of repetition, your body starts to shortcut. You've done the roundhouse kick 1,000 times. So instead of lifting your knee high and tight, you just raise it halfway and let the legs swing out. It feels faster, cleaner, but you've lost the structural core of the kick. A lazy chamber flattens the angle. It weakens the snap. It makes it obvious which kick you're throwing. And that means it's easier to block or counter. In sparring, the lack of deception becomes painfully clear. You throw a kick and your opponent sees it coming a mile away. The chamber should be sharp, intentional. It should allow you to switch angles mid-kick, turn a roundhouse into a hook, or a front kick into a push. That flexibility starts with the right setup. And if your chamber is just good enough, the rest of your kick never reaches its full potential. 2. The heavy heel, killing rotation before the kick begins. Let's talk about the pivot, specifically the supporting foot. If your heel is stuck to the floor during a kick, your hips lock up. The rotation dies. And without rotation, your kick loses the one thing it needs most: torque. This issue creeps in silently. It often starts during bag work. With no need to adjust for range or position, the body relaxes. The foot stays flat. It feels stable. But stable doesn't mean effective. Over time, this habit hardens. And once it's baked into your muscle memory, your hips stop moving the way they're supposed to. The kick becomes a push, not a whip. It lacks arc. It lacks rhythm. It feels heavy, sluggish. Watch any world-class fighter, and you'll see a different story. Their heel lifts, their foot pivots cleanly. The hips flow smoothly from start to finish. The footwork isn't separate from the kick. It's what fuels it. So if you feel stuck, slow, or awkward in your technique, check your heel. It might be anchoring you more than you realize. E. The standing leg lock, the mistake that breaks your balance. You throw a perfect side kick, but as soon as it lands, your body wobbles. You're off center, your recovery is clunky. What happened? You locked your standing leg. It seems harmless. Maybe it even helps you feel grounded at first. But a stiff support leg kills dynamic balance. When your base leg locks out, it removes your ability to shift weight mid-kick. It creates a brittle structure that can't absorb motion. You're not grounded, you're frozen. And frozen doesn't work in combat. The best fighters keep a slight bend in their support leg. That bend acts like a shock absorber. It allows for micro adjustments in timing, weight distribution, and direction. In fast-paced sparring, that bend gives you freedom to pivot out, recover instantly, or transition into a follow-up. It's a tiny detail, but it changes everything. Fixing your standing leg doesn't require more strength, just awareness. And once you make that shift, your kicks will feel smoother, more connected, and far more balanced. The 4, the blind kick. Acting before seeing you see an opening. You launch a kick instantly, no hesitation. Sounds like perfect timing, right? Not always, because a lot of fighters kick before truly confirming range or angle. They react fast, but without clarity. And that's when blind kicks happen. Blind kicks are rushed. They miss their mark. They leave you off balance, exposed, or stepping into a counterattack. This usually shows up in sparring or competition. The pressure rises, your brain shortcuts, and you kick out of reflex, not calculation. Here's the fix. Insert a half-second read. The best fighters don't react blindly. They register distance, track motion, then strike. Their kicks are guided, not guessed. That pause, it doesn't slow them down. It makes them precise. So if your kicks feel like they're always almost landing, take a step back. Don't just react. Observe, then fire with purpose. 5. The weak recoil. How you end the kick matters more than how you start. You chamber strong, you pivot clean. The kick fires perfectly. But then your leg just drops. No recoil, no reset, just a loose landing. This is one of the most overlooked details in Taekwondo, because most people think the kick is finished once it hits. But the recoil is what defines the technique. A weak or lazy return does 3 things. 1. Slows your recovery. You're stuck in transition longer than necessary. 2. Breaks your structure. You land out of stance or off balance. 3. Signals vulnerability. A sharp counter can catch you mid-reset. Elite-level athletes treat the recoil as part of the strike. They don't just hit and forget. They hit and snap back. Why? Because a tight recoil puts you back into stance instantly. It allows for combinations. It minimizes exposure. It shows control. Think of the recoil as the punctuation at the end of your sentence. If it's missing, the statement is incomplete. The lazy recoil. When a strong kick ends weak, you chamber strong. You pivot clean. The kick fires with full intent. But then, your leg just drops. No pullback, no control, just a loose fall back to the floor. This single moment, often ignored, quietly undermines everything you did right up to that point. The truth is, many Taekwondo practitioners think a kick ends at the point of impact. You hit the target? Good enough. Move on. But that mindset misses a crucial part of the technique, the recoil. The recoil isn't just a recovery step. It's part of the strike itself. A clean return shows balance, power control, and awareness. Skipping it turns a sharp technique into a sloppy motion. A weak or lazy return does 3 things. 1. It slows your recovery. Your body lingers in transition. You can't rechamber quickly or launch the next move without delay. 2. It breaks your structure. You fall out of your stance, leaving you unbalanced and exposed. That next step? It's clumsy. 3. It signals vulnerability. In sparring or a fight, the split second it takes for your leg to fall back uncontrolled is enough for your opponent to strike. You've created a window for a counter, and experienced fighters will take it. Elite-level athletes never treat a kick as a one-way motion. They hit and snap back. The leg returns to chamber just as fast as it extended. That snap back puts them immediately back in position, ready for another strike, block, or evasion. Think of the recoil as the period at the end of a sentence. If you leave it out, your message trails off awkwardly. The same applies to your technique, so don't let a good kick end badly. Start strong and finish even sharper. So don't just start your kick right, finish it right. 6. The overtilt. When high kicks hurt more than help. Let's be honest, high kicks look great. A head height roundhouse, a spinning hook, those techniques steal the show. But many fighters chase height at the cost of control. Here's how. To kick high, they overcompensate by tilting their torso back. It gives the leg more room to rise, sure, but it also unanchors your base. Your spine leans. Your center of gravity shifts backward. Your recovery becomes a struggle. And worst of all, the kick looks impressive but lands soft. This habit forms when athletes obsess over flexibility but ignore posture. They believe high kicks equal high skill, but height without structure is just empty motion. The real solution isn't more tilt. It's better hip mobility and controlled extension. Look at high-level competitors. They stay upright even when kicking head height. Their body alignment remains stable. That's how they maintain power, balance, and recovery. If you're throwing high kicks that feel disconnected or awkward, don't lean more, tilt less, and build the control to match the height. Conclusion. Wrap up. Most people in Taekwondo don't fail because of major flaws. They fail because of the tiny details they overlook. The chamber that's a little too low, the heel that stays too flat, the recoil that's forgotten, the high kick that sacrifices posture. Each mistake feels small, but together they slow you down, weaken your strikes, and cap your progress. You're already doing the hard part, showing up, training, repeating the motions. Now it's time to sharpen the hidden edges. Fixing these 6 details won't require you to start from scratch, but they will demand focus, awareness, and intention. And once you adjust them, even slightly, you'll feel it instantly. Your kicks will land faster, your balance will tighten, your confidence will rise because it was never about needing more techniques. It was about improving the ones you already have. You're almost there, just tweak the details, and you'll go further than you thought possible. Want to go deeper into technique breakdowns, common sparring errors, and elite-level movement secrets? Subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out the next video. We're building a smarter, sharper Taekwondo mindset, one step at a time.